Welcome to the Will and Tom Show with your host Will and
Tom.
Yeah.
But in contrast to Will, I don't need to put my fingers on my nose to sound.
Well, to be honest, that's
I don't really sound like this when I'm cold.
Why do people, when they close their noses, also immediately change their voice?
Well, this was just for dramatic effect because if I just
Do this, it's not really. Actually, it sounds quite good. But it doesn't really sound like I'm ill. It sounds like I'm holding my nose.
Yeah.
anyway, welcome to the Will and Tom Show in this special episode about
Illnesses. Well, mostly due to the fact that I'm still a little bit ill.
due to the fact that last week our faithful listeners didn't get an episode because
Yes.
we were ill.
And he was absolutely devastated.
Oh, me or the listener?
The listener. So sorry for that, but as you might be able to hear, this is a week later after I was really ill. So yeah, you can imagine. It wasn't a man cold. I mean, that's something I should say.
A man cold.
A man cold.
What is that?
It's well, men tend to be a bit over dramatic.
Really?
Yeah.
I always had the feeling women have that as well, but just men don't
No,
whine about
women
it.
always just have the sniffles or something like that. Just and then they go, "Whatchu?" And I'm fine. Don't help me. And of course, they want that you help them. But men are the other way around. Men,
Really, I've never had a woman that said, "Don't help me." They always are like, "Bring me soup, give me a blanket, do this, bring tea."
Okay.
I think that's just a huge
They-
stereotype.
Well, yeah. But as is, I think, the man cold. I'm not quite sure if I'm just making up the word man cold.
It sounds a bit like you're having a menzie or something.
Well, in German, it's called a Männerschnupfen. So that's a thing that's actually in German. That is a thing that exists. But man cold more sounds like absolutely brilliant Michael McIntyre's Man Drawer
Oh, because of the word man.
because it has the word man in it. Yes. So anyway, so I think that some guys tend to overreact when they're ill, and they just have
And that's
a
what
little.
you did. So
Yeah,
basically,
I
that's
did that
actually-
for a week.
You bastard.
I was lying in bed and yeah, coughing my soul out. Just,
Watching TV shows.
yes, and sleeping a lot. I actually,
Poor you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so we're talking about illnesses. There'll be another new feature which is throwing them out, right? That you can expect. from
This is the
episode.
surprise.
Okay, so the surprise is
There
this.
won't be a new feature.
There won't be a new
Hint.
feature. No.
Cough.
Before we
Owl.
forget that,
Cricket.
before we forget that, something we should do in the beginning of every episode is you can find us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/The Will and Tom Show. Find us on YouTube. You can write us an email, The Will and Tom Show at hotmail.com.
Did you say you can write us on eBay?
An email
Oh. It's
at
like you write us
The
on
Will and Tom
eBay.
Show at hotmail.com, or follow us on Twitter at Will and Tom Show.
I like this part where you're doing all the talking.
Yeah, that's because I'm a bit ill. I shouldn't talk that much. That's why I'm talking all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So Twitter at Will and Tom Show.
Exactly, without the. So how was your week, darling?
Interesting.
Okay.
As in, I had a lot of stuff to do, but the one thing that definitely jumps out is that I had a very, very crazy dream.
Okay. Was it something kinky?
Not really, no.
Shame.
Actually, really not, no.
Disappointed.
No, Stephen Fry was my best friend, and we went to Mallorca on holiday.
I thought it was kinky.
Oh, not really, no.
Oh.
But it was absolutely brilliant because we went on holiday to Mallorca, and it was really like he was my best friend for ages already, and we walked around the Fietsenstalling, and I had to explain to him what it exactly was. And
Was it Bewagte?
no,
No.
it was just open, and
Okay.
so but that was kind of funny.
But it's very strange because it's so precise that it is Mallorca.
Is that precise?
That is quite precise.
But I always dream of such things.
So you always know the place where you are.
If it's for example, if I'm on holiday or something, or in my dream I'm going on holiday, yeah.
Okay. So was it Cala Rajada or
I didn't go there.
Palma de Mallorca?
We were going to go to Mallorca.
Oh, but you couldn't get the bikes out of the thesis.
No, that just didn't happen. It was just such a thing of, hey, I know that we're going to record a podcast in a week, And in that dream, I knew that we were going to Mallorca together. We were going to go to Mallorca together.
To record a podcast.
No, not about the podcast, but I'm just giving an example.
Totally confused.
Tomorrow, I will do groceries.
Yes.
Now, I know today that I'm going to do groceries tomorrow.
Oh, right.
Even though I haven't done it yet.
Okay, so in your dream...
I knew that I was going to go to Mallorca with Stephen Fry, even though I didn't
doing something completely different, but you
didn't
knew
went. That's horrible.
Ooh,
Friday.
Yeah. So, by the way, I'm up since 6. It's 5:15, so I'm up for almost 12 hours already, so I'm sorry.
I'm up since 9:30, 9:45.
Lazy bitch.
Which is about an hour earlier than I normally am.
Oh, Jesus. We have quite a bit of snow. Actually, this morning... sorry, are you finished with...
Yeah, there wasn't anything else to the dream anymore. Okay. But, yeah, you.
I was in the dream?
No, you... Snow.
Yeah, that was basically me starting...
I'm not really making sentences.
What?
I'm spurting out words. Spurting? I'm spurting out words and I'm making them up as I go.
So this is the point where you ask me?
No, you were talking about snow. I thought you just would continue. Or is that about your...
That is basically...
So how was your day, darling?
It's usually a week, but doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah, how was your week?
Well, I screwed up a lot already, so I don't know.
And you're quite far away from...
I know, but it doesn't matter because they can still hear me.
Yeah, anyways. So, yeah, we this week we had a little bit of crazy weather around here. And
I'm an American.
And someone looking inside our glass window, our glass studio, just waving hi. They didn't wave back. So yeah, we had a lot of snow, and this morning it was actually quite dramatic because when I went to bed at around 11:30, there was no snow whatsoever, and when I got up around 6, there was a lot of snow. And
did you take a picture?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, it was dark because when I leave the house to go to work
anymore.
No. Yeah. But it was quite dramatic, and on my way to work there were trucks next to the road, so they had to leave the road because they were stuck.
Sucks. The
pupils came too late because buses got stuck, and some of the bus drivers, you just think small boys and girls, 5th and 6th graders, so they are, 9, 10, 11-ish, around that age. And one driver apparently just stopped the bus and made them get off the bus at a bus stop somewhere in the middle of nowhere and left them there.
Why?
Because he was afraid that his bus would get stuck. So he didn't want to drive on. So he just unloaded the children and drove back.
You would guess that you would drive back with the children in them.
No, because they have to go to school.
Yeah, but now they're also not in school. At least then they would not be in the middle of nowhere.
No, they then called their parents, most of them already working, and then trying to organize how to get the children to school. Brilliant.
So they hired a bus?
The same guy coming back. Oh, yeah, now that we... No, that does...
he came back with a snowplow.
He came back with a snowplow, yeah. No, but so that was actually more the how was my day. But the thing over the week that got me a little bit confused. What? He's pointing at his wrist.
Never mind.
He's shaking his head. The we're good. No worries. He doesn't like that if we shouldn't talk about the recording itself. But the problem is that apparently he has a time problem, maybe.
I didn't register what time we started because sometimes we forget, but apparently you did.
I did.
But you didn't tell me that we did. So I tried to just give you a signal while you were speaking, because normally we can do that at the same time.
I can't.
And mostly people tapping on their wrists means what time is it, or anything with time. And you just go, I'm rapping on the wrist. It's not for brains.
I can't do multitasking today anymore.
Well, it's okay.
It's okay. I'm sorry for that. No, actually, the story I wanted to tell was that insurances. For fuck's sake, really, what the fuck? So we need special insurance for school keys, because if you lose them, then it's quite expensive because you have to change a lot of keys and there's special keys and so on and so forth. So we need key insurance, and the key insurance is kind of the key to all the other insurances. Oh, sorry.
I think everyone in the world saw that joke coming, and everyone was just praying that it wouldn't happen. Anyway, for the second time this week, you've let them down.
Yeah, the other time was last week.
Still in the space of 7 days.
Oh, right, yeah. I let my hair down. Anyways, so insurances. But the problem is with all these insurances, I now have keys. And if they get lost, I do have a key insurance. But insurances only start working after a kind of trial period of 3 months.
So now if you lose your keys?
Exactly, I'm totally screwed.
But then shouldn't you have gotten the insurance earlier?
Yeah.
But you can't do that because you didn't have the job back then.
I could have, but no one fucking told us.
Yeah, but that's always, you first need to call people to ask if there's going to be a problem.
It's brilliant.
That's ridiculous.
And now actually, it already happened to someone. She lost the school key. Not at my school, but some
that sucks.
That sucks balls.
It's also quite irresponsible.
Well, these things happen.
But how do you lose a set of keys?
I don't know. I never
put it on a keychain. I mean, me neither, barely. I remember last time I lost my keys was when I was 12 or something. It was a bike key.
I only lose my wallet, and that quite regularly.
I don't know how.
But it always came back. Sometimes it cost me a little bit of money because people took the money out, but
yeah, well, at least last time that happened, right?
Yeah,
people just took money and just gave it back.
Yeah, but I mean that's okay.
Well, it's not okay.
No, but I'd rather have my wallet back with all my cards and,
I agree
passport and driver's license because that's way more expensive than the 20 euros.
You also can't know if the people that brought it back were the people that took the money.
Yeah, in that case, you know.
Why?
The last case. Why was it a cinema? And the only people walking through the lines, through the rows with torches are the people working there.
Yeah, true.
So the guy cleaning the cinema took out 20 euros and hopefully bought his son a beautiful Christmas present or his wife or girlfriend or his mistress.
I always think if these people are in such dire need to do that, either they're fuckwads and they don't deserve our attention, or they are really desperate for it. So
no, in that case, there's fuckwads.
Yeah, do you think so?
Yeah, because people working at the cinema there, that's just... I mean, it's called AIDS Palast. That's basically HIV Palace. The cinema is called HIV Palace. That brings us back to illnesses.
Which is very on topic, yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something earlier, also about illnesses.
Oh, no.
No, actually, it is related to HIV, but it was about the insurance question where you said it was so ridiculous that you have to anticipate problems in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And in Brazil, it was once in the news. And I dubbed this the Brazilian condom problem.
Okay.
And, or in Dutch, I always say the Braziliaanse condoomkwestie. Because the thing is, they have to, if you're, I think, from 14 years old up or something, you have to carry a condom with you at all times. So that's for AIDS prevention, because apparently they're so loose with sex and stuff that, and it's quite a good measurement, but the problem is that if you go to someone's house, have your way, and then you go out, you don't have your condom anymore. And because of that, you always need to have 2 condoms at least. But the problem is that if you only have 2 condoms with you, you go into a house, and therefore you have sex with a person or something, you come out and you only have 1 condom, you can't then therefore still walk safely around. So with the whole question is you need at least 3 condoms with you at all times. And as soon as you've used the third one, you need to get, a third new one.
But the problem is that I don't understand. The fact that I'm carrying around the condom doesn't mean that I'm using it.
No, true, but I mean...
That is really bullcrap. That's just saying, like, everyone needs to carry a helmet. You don't have to wear it, but you need to have a helmet on your bike.
But they can't enforce that they wear it, so at least they can enforce that they carry it, right? I mean, how can you enforce that someone wears a condom during sex?
You have to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Stand next to it. You can only have sex.
Is that a job you want to have?
Oh, God, no.
14-year-old Brazilian boys?
Oh.
Exactly.
If it was girls.
Well, I assume that they're also there.
No, the problem is I think that...
they're not going to have a wank with a condom.
It's a posh wank.
Yeah, I know. That's really ridiculous. It's a posh wank.
Yeah.
So, but that also pertains to illness, but it always strikes me. And every time I see such a problem that ascertains to such a situation where you actually need to have multiple of one, it reminds me of the Brazilian condom.
Something I really don't get is...
a lot of sex. Oh!
is why people have to share their illnesses on Facebook. So, especially when it comes to STDs.
What?
Yes.
They
Yeah,
What do they do on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through a certain page where you can where people upload very stupid stuff. Mostly there's a guy here just posting that he's masturbating at the time.
Cool.
And but they're quite often. I accidentally bought scented tampons, and now my snatch smells like that outdoor patio section at Home Depot.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's actually a very funny site. Now, the brilliant thing is that now that I'm looking for STD jokes, I can't find any.
But your point being was that people share their intimate details about their illnesses on Facebook with their friends and or with the public.
Yeah.
Because I don't get any at all actually why you would post it on Facebook.
I have no clue. But I think that in some cases people just don't draw a line between public Facebook and I'm just writing that to my friends. Because I think sometimes I forget that it has, it draws bigger circles. If you have
I don't do that. I just go for private stuff.
400 friends, and then you're surprised that people share it, and then all
were you ill a lot as a child?
No, actually not. No,
me neither. So that's something we can't talk about.
No, I had the what are they called? No. The one spotty thing that all children should have.
Oh,
not the pox. That's terrible.
No, but in they are called the pox in German. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and same in Dutch. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's really horrible. Anyway, let's continue because otherwise we're just both sitting here drawing a blank.
Yeah.
But do you have any allergies?
Allergies? No.
Also not. So you're quite healthy in general.
Yeah, I am. Well, I think that I'm a little bit allergic against oranges.
You fucking German.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm allergic.
Oranges?
Yeah. And
any other sour fruits?
Yeah, it could be. Because I get that weird wiggly feeling in my mouth.
Burning sensation?
Yeah, a little bit. Also with pineapple.
That's weird.
Yeah. But I think it has something to do with the acid.
It could very well be.
That's in it. Yeah.
So I think it's good, to be
the same people walking by earlier now walking back again.
Did they look inside again?
Yeah, they walked up on that side of the road and now walking down the other side of the road. Are they going home now? They've been on a stroll with the kids.
Is it nearly time for a surprise?
It is time for our surprise because this is sort of the halftime show.
Yeah, this is the halftime rhyme.
Halftime rhyme. So what the fuck is that? Well, it's a halftime show.
It's a halftime show in a show about 30 minutes long.
Exactly. And our task is that we rhyme.
Yeah, we thought it wasn't difficult enough to just have a conversation. We're just going to add a rhyme segment in there.
Yeah, because we're so good at just having a conversation.
And the point is that we just wanted to have a special topic about rhyming.
Yeah, so today's topic is we chose something where we thought that we both know a lot about, and so it's easy for us to talk about. So it is football.
So from now on, rhyming.
And I guess it's now going to be just us waiting for the other one to start. And
you started first. So now
you go
you have to rhyme, otherwise you go in the hearse.
Whoa. Okay. So we're talking about football now, and
is it also a waste of time if you have to rhyme about saying
Well, I guess so. Otherwise, I don't know.
Oh, very good. This segment.
Don't patronize me. That was rubbish.
This segment is going to be pure crap.
Yeah.
And I think people right now should be taking a nap instead of listening to this shit, because it's definitely not going to be a hit.
Ooh, bam!
There's all these empty sentences inside these conversations.
Yes.
And I can't wait to get out of this situation.
Yeah, that had a foot.
What?
Yeah, forget that. I think that people in sports. Why do I use these words? I think that people in sports, especially sports with a ball, make way too much money, they don't deserve it at all.
Really?
Tell me more.
Tell me more about this interesting lore.
Was it interesting? Whore?
Lore?
Lore. Oh.
Backstory?
Yeah. Well, I think they could use
an affidavit.
Really?
I just thought, let's put in a very difficult word. So
that is something you need to explain to quite a lot of the listeners.
What, an affidavit?
Yeah, I think
Well,
at least
it's
the one.
Judicial term for when people are being summoned to court. Not like a subpoena, but subpoena is, I think, a legal draft that you need to come to court. An affidavit.
Well, all I know is that peni is the plural of penis.
It isn't actually.
So
well,
I
it is
think
hilarious.
Was that halftime rhyme already?
That was halftime rhyme.
Okay.
Done with, and I think that's the end.
I think
of
it goes on the shelf.
It goes on the shelf.
All the way up, where it's very hard to get to.
In the boxes.
Into the boxes.
It sounds good though, halftime rhyme.
Halftime rhyme sounds brilliant, but we can't just use,
difficult words.
Title and
then not rhyme.
Yeah. So another
we
example,
maybe need to change it up. Like make up a sentence and you need to rhyme on it.
Yeah, we think about that. So Donna writes, "Oh, terrible cramps! Can't wait until I get my period so I can get all Buffy the Vampire Slayer with these tampons." That's just yeah.
On the one hand, I think it's really funny if you know her.
Yeah.
That's such a joke that if you're personal to a person can be freaking hilarious. But if you just read it on the internet, you go, dude, that's a bit too much for me.
Yeah, it's definitely way too much. Also stuff like Bailey writes, "Had a miscarriage and wondering how I had no idea that I was preggo."
What? that took me a while.
Yeah. That's something I like, but that's not nothing to do with illnesses. But woke up with glitter on my dick, and then someone replies, "Was Edward visiting last night?" I quite like that.
Edward?
Edward from the blood thingies, vampire stuff, shit, bullcrap.
Okay, you have to give me more than blood things, vampire shit, bullcrap.
The Stephanie Meyer vampire
no
movies, books with Edward the vampire, and there's a werewolf as well, and they're trying to fuck the same girl. It has. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the thing that?
Yeah, it is.
Twilight.
Twilight, exactly.
It's supposed to be rubbish.
It is, I think.
And I haven't watched any of it.
Haven't watched.
But that's the thing, right? The guy. That's what I know of it. There's a guy there, and he's supposed to be an immortal vampire, and he's doing school over and over and over again. Why doesn't he start being a researcher or, I don't know, a writer or something that you can earn a lot of money with? Why go to fucking high school? Even if you look about 17, start inventing crap, you ignorant, selfish, egotistical prick.
I don't know.
The thing...
Yeah, but that's romantic and sweet because it tells all the little girls that want to fall in love with Edward that they just need to go to high school.
The thing is, I don't know how long he's been living already, or unliving, but if he's, and he can't get a boner, right? I mean, I don't know what that kind of universe is, but vampires don't have blood flow, so he can't get an erection.
He has that thing with a pump where you just put air in your penis. That So every guy, every time he wants to get down to business, he just goes.
Penis pump.
Just a second, come in, I'll be there.
Romantic.
And
violin in the background.
And when he's done, he's not making that sound or something. He just says. Okay, so that was that. We're actually talking about Twilight. What the fuck?
Yeah, but it's funny, so it's allowed.
Yeah. Also something that when you're sick, you need to take or ill, you need to take pills, right?
I thought you were going to talk about rectal temperature gauging.
No, that's not exactly in my area of expertise.
Well, you need to take your temperature. A lot of people prefer it anally.
Yeah. No, it's just brilliant because you made that pause. You need to take your temperature. Most people prefer it anally. That is, there could be a connection, but there has to be one. So I don't prefer it anally.
I haven't never taken my temperature.
I don't do anymore.
I just put my hand on my neck or something, or put someone else.
I just want to say put it in my foreskin.
Yeah. I had a friend once. We were completely baked out of our skulls, and he just constantly kept itching and scratching his forehead and constantly saying, "Oh, I have some, my foreskin." My foreskin itches so much. We were just looking at him and laughing. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so pills. Are you one of the guys who says, I like taking medicine and all kind of chemistry inside my body that's going to help, or sit it out, or take, I don't know,
well, I can answer that with a very simple answer, I think, that I took my first aspirin in 2009.
Okay. Wow.
So that's, what is that, 6 years ago? Nearly. Yeah, that was about 6 years ago. So then I was 22, 23 years old, somewhere in that area. And that's was my first aspirin, and I now take it if I have a huge headache and I really know that I can't deal with it any other way. But if I, for example, mostly when I get a headache, I know that it's because I didn't drink enough, and then I just start drinking enough. And if I'm really ill, I haven't been in a very long time, luckily, and I don't know. I do believe in medicine, but my grandma always used to say, you just need to behave normally, eat well. If you can eat still, just try to eat well, drink a lot, especially drink a lot, that really helps.
Yeah.
And just, trying to take it easy, but don't, I don't know. I know people that just lay in bed for 3 days and then are up and running again. I can't do that. I just need to, I do less, but I can't just lay around. You?
But it depends. Most of the time, if it's really just your everyday winter's cold, I just continue business as usual, and usually in about 2 or 3 days it's over. But if it's really knocking you down like last week, then I mean, you can't do anything else but lying around and watching stupid television shows.
I don't know. The only fever that I can remember was really that bad that I had to take medicine was, like I said, on the first time that I took aspirin. And then I was still going on hikes with my family. And
okay, I couldn't do that. But some people don't take pills because they can't swallow pills. That's also something a lot of people can't do. Yeah.
As in 2009, the first aspirin, I had to chew on it.
Oh, okay. So Bruce has a top tip for you. I used to not able. Seriously, that's Facebook. I just read it the way it's written there. I used to not be able to swallow pills. Now I can swallow pills without water, thanks dick sucking. So there's a.
But I can swallow pills now as well.
Because you
not because of dick sucking, because I just started trying to swallow small pills and then going on to bigger pills.
Yeah.
But it was too big a pill to swallow.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. No, the thing is, I don't know, biting on aspirin is quite disgusting. But I don't know, I don't like pills in general, but sometimes it just has to be done.
Yeah.
But true. A lot of stuff can help as well with homeopathic stuff, like eating healthily or giving yourself a food rub or...
a what?
A food rub?
Oh, I understood a food rub. So that sounds like you're rubbing yourself with food.
If that tickles your fancy, sure. Yeah, just small things,
Yeah.
Draw a nice bath.
Actually, the one thing that helped me the most, because I had the problem that I was really full of snot. And I said it's really annoying because it doesn't go anywhere. So you really feel all the snot basically sitting in your head. Huh?
In your skull.
Yeah. And it doesn't come out. So what I did is the classic putting your head over hot water, because that really
steaming.
Yeah, exactly. I did a steam bath for my head.
So how do you do that?
Well, usually you use chamomilla because it has some stuff in it. So you can either use chamomilla tea or fresh chamomilla or something like that. Yeah. But I didn't have anything of that at home, and also it was a Sunday, so I couldn't get anything. So I used the herbal tea.
Isn't it apothecary open even?
Yeah.
You can get stuff there, right?
Pharmacies are open on Sundays. Yeah.
Is that not apothecary? No. Oh, it is apothecary. It's pharmacy.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you So how do you do it? My sister used to do that a lot. Or used to see it a lot. She takes a small bowl or something and then puts a tea towel over her head.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you just basically sit next to the stove and have something like a little bit of heat still going, so that it doesn't burn your facial hair, but it should be quite hot because you can actually really
next to the stove. What are you doing?
Well, I usually have the pot on the stove still because it needs to be warm all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so weird for me.
Why?
I would just put hot water in a bowl.
But that lasts for 5 minutes.
And then you take new hot water?
Yeah, but that's a waste of time. You can just sit there for 10 minutes at the stove. I don't know.
It's actually a better idea. It's even better for the environment.
Yeah. And then you can really feel it going through your head and clearing everything. That is really brilliant. And that's the thing that actually really helped me the most.
Yeah.
And that it costs you a penny.
I like showering when you're ill.
Yeah.
That feels so...
Yeah. Feels very, very good indeed.
Very good indeed.
Yeah. And also something I want to try, because parts of my family absolutely love it. I never tried it. Is a nose shower. I know that sounds absolutely weird, but basically what you're doing is blow water into your nose that much that it goes up all the way inside your head and comes back out through your mouth.
That sounds disgusting.
It sounds disgusting, and I think it feels really weird.
And does it taste disgusting?
It depends. I think you put some kind of little bit salty something in that, sterilizes. Well, sterilizes the wrong word, but
absinthe.
It kills kills all the bacteria. And so because the problem is that usually I have no clue what it is in English. Let me just quickly look for the word. Because usually if you have a cold, it's just your nose. And you can sneeze and you can get all the stuff out of your nose and you're perfectly fine. But if you have a bad cold, and that's usually the colds I have, is that the cold moves back into your head and in that area underneath your eyes. And
that hurts quite a bit.
Exactly, that's absolutely...
but have you ever seen how they do that with that water shower?
Yeah.
And then do you would you go face downwards? Because then everything would fall out of your mouth and you wouldn't have to taste it. But otherwise, when it hits your tongue, that seems disgusting, no?
Well,
I don't know.
It looks, actually, the thing you put in your nose looks like a small penis. I kid you not. It looks like a small penis.
I know what it's... Yeah, I think...
Yeah, and then you have water behind it, and just the pressure from the water tank behind the penis is enough to go through your sinuses, actually. That's what they call it. Yeah. And so they clean out your sinuses. And that should help a lot. And it also prevents, if you have a normal cold, of bacteria getting inside and making everything a mess and terrible. Yeah. So, I'll definitely try that, because maybe that's a way of not having these sinus infections every time I have a cold.
Do you always have sinus infections?
Yeah, that's usually what I have. That's the reason why I still sound that snotty and weird. Yeah. Because there's still stuff.
So can you just get them anywhere?
Yeah.
Water showers.
We could actually buy them tonight still.
You could actually stand upside down in the shower.
Yeah, I think you could. But I'm not quite sure.
I don't think that's wise. I think we should advise that on air.
Yeah, I think it's a couple of euros.
Then again, if you're stupid enough to do that, stand upside down in a shower.
You can't be that ill. Seriously, if you are able to do that handstand in the shower.
No, but also if you're stupid enough to stand upside down in a shower on these wet, slippery tiles and that kind of stuff, you deserve the Darwin Award, right?
Yeah. Well, what I read something a couple of. Oh yeah, for that the Darwin Award for I think there's a new category for selfie deaths.
Really?
Yeah.
Death by selfie.
Death by selfie.
Then you want to take a picture and fall off a cliff?
Yeah, there are sites on the internet collecting people's last seconds before they died. So it's really stuff like you see a car flying against car flying towards them in the background, them already dropping down a cliff. One very brutal one is
good camera though.
Well, phones actually they survive a lot these days. At least a chip.
Well, true, yeah.
Yeah, if this SD card survives and the phone has time to save the picture, then no problem.
It's a long cliff.
Yeah, indeed. The absolutely terrible thing I've seen was in Pamplona with the bulls.
The bull fighting.
Yeah,
where they running.
Where they run away, yeah. And you can see the bull charging behind him.
Brilliant.
And he's smiling there, taking a picture. And okay.
And he died?
No, he didn't die. He just was severely injured.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. And he actually won the Darwin Award for I think that was a couple of years back.
I don't get that bull running. I get that's tradition, but,
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, don't get me, I'm not a vegetarian or anything.
But you should eat bulls instead.
I get the whole point of vegetarianism and everything, but it's just, I don't know, the bull running.
But what does vegetarianism has to do with?
Because a lot of people, I meet that if you say that you for example, against such a thing like bull running, they automatically assume that you're vegan or vegetarian.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, well, that's all we've got time for. So
quite a snotty subject.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, but I think it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talk to us, write to us, find us on Facebook, facebook.com/.
I'd like to remind them quickly that if you share our stuff on Facebook, you will get your name in the song, and so far only one person has done it.
Yeah.
But I think more people should.
Someone called William. Phil?
William.
I have no clue how to spell that name. Pronounce that name.
I think the way it's written.
Film?
Viljam? William. Like William, but then with a V?
Oh. No clue. I have no idea who that is. So
from far away, probably.
Yeah, probably. Maybe from somewhere up north.
Exotic names.
Brings us back to anal. So, yeah, that's it for today.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.com/The Will and Tom Show.
Exactly.
Write to us at The Will and Tom Show @hotmail.com, or leave a comment on our YouTube page, which should also be The Will and Tom Show, which is easier to find nowadays, by the way.
Yeah.
If you at least have a title of a show, like for example, second episode.
This show is called, or was called, Illnesses.
Illnesses. This is episode 7, right?
Yeah.
So we actually run 1 week late now. But maybe one day we'll just do a bonus episode or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if we run a week.
No.
I think it might happen more often in the future.
It's probably bound to happen more often.
Yeah.
And I know that other shows then have some sort of special where they do recollections of the funniest bits.
Okay.
But we're not going to do that.
No.
We say fuck it.
Yeah. Because if we won't have the time of recording, then we also won't have the time of editing stuff.
Well, it could be that one of us at a time.
Yeah, true.
But to be truthful, if I get the chance to do something editing, then I'd probably splice out different stuff to make a whole new story. And then just make these words like, do you remember that time?
I like schnitzel. So, next episode is going to be about dialects, accents, and all that kind of crap.
Right, I thought it was social media. But this is also good. I mean,
the next episode is going to be
accents.
about... No, let's go for social media because we already talked about Facebook today and stupid people on Facebook.
But this is going to be next week.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Do you think it was... But maybe it's cool if you have a break in between.
Yeah, we'll see. We talk about that off air.
The next episode will be number 8. And apart from that, you'll just see what it's going to be.
Number 8. Number 8.
What's going on?
What's going on? Number 8. No?
What's going on?
That's from the Simpsons episode.
Okay.
That's the episode where they have that barbershop singing thingy.
The barbershop quartet.
The barbershop quartet, exactly. And Barney goes off with Yoko Ono to make his own stuff.
Oh, he does. With such a bungo in the background, right?
And he just burps basically. And so she's number 8, burp, number 8, burp. So that burp is supposed to be someone burping.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. We should do an episode about The Simpsons. Anyways, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good night. We're going to have dinner now.
Yeah, I'm very hungry.
Yeah, we are. So we're wrapping it up because we need to wrap and then
gift wrap.
Exactly. Fuck off.
Yo.
Thank you.
I'm gift wrapping yo.
Yeah, and thank you and good night. That's rubbish. Because thank you and good night is a movie title. Anyways, well, what can I say? Fuck off, bitches.
Oh.